Hello, 5th graders. Today, we're going to look at punctuating dialogue. In case some of you have never heard this word before, dialogue is a conversation between two or more people. When you talk to your mother, you are actively engaging in dialogue because you are speaking to someone. Likewise, if someone speaks to you, they are also engaging in the act of dialogue because they are speaking to someone else. We recognize dialogue when we see it. Think about movies or plays. Anytime you see characters talking to each other, this is considered a dialogue. Consider this example.
See, I suffer from short-term memory loss.
Short-term memory loss. I don't believe this.
No, it's true. I forget things almost instantly. It runs in my family. Well, I mean, at least I think it does. Where are they? Can I help you?
Something's wrong with you. Really.
In this scene from Finding Nemo, Dory and Marlin are speaking to each other. They are creating dialogue. We know who is talking because we can see them. We can also hear dialogue without seeing the speakers. Consider this next example.
Dory, do you see anything?
Ah! Something's got me!
That was me. I'm sorry.
Who's that?
Who's that? Who could it be? It's me.
Are you my conscience?
Yeah. I'm your conscience. We haven't spoken for a while. How are you?
Can't complain.
Yeah, good. Now, Dory, I want you to tell me. Do you see anything?
I see a light.
A light?
Yeah, over there. Hey, Conscience, am I dead?
No, I see it too.
In that scene, even though we could not see Dory or Marlin, we knew who was talking because we could recognize the characters by the sound of their voices. But we can't hear the voices of characters in written text. So when it comes to writing, how do you know who's talking? Let's look at this sample text. This text does not give us clues such as Dory said this or Marlin said that. Without these clues, it is difficult to know who is speaking within the text. Quotations and proper formatting helps us keep track of what each speaker is saying. Let's see what happens when we add appropriate quotations and formatting. Notice the difference? When we added quotations and format to the previous text, now it is much easier to follow who is speaking and what they are saying. Notice how each time a different character says something, we add a new line to show that someone different is talking now. Let's try some other examples. Here, we have two sentences without any dialogue punctuation. Dory said, "I shall call him Squishy," and Dory, "That's a jellyfish," said Marlin. First, we want to identify the spoken portion of this text. This time, the sentences do give us clues. Sentence 1 tells us what is being said within the phrase, Dory said. This tells us that whatever comes next must be the spoken part of the sentence. So, we should put quotes around the phrase, "I shall call him Squishy." In sentence 2, said Marlin is at the end of the sentence. This tells us that the spoken part of the sentence must come before the phrase, said Marlin. So, we should put quotes around the phrase, Dory, that's a jellyfish. Let's do that and see what happens. Okay, here are example sentences with quotation marks. Now we know what is being said. However, we are still missing some key punctuation. We also need a comma to separate the narration between the spoken part of the text. This means a comma should fall out of the phrase, Dory said, in sentence 1. We also place a comma at the end of the quoted phrase, Dory, that's a jellyfish, in sentence 2. Let's see what happens when we add commas. Now we have the sentences with the proper quotes and grammatical punctuation. Dory said, comma, quote, "I shall call him Squishy, period, end quote." And, quote, "Dory, that's a jellyfish, comma, end quote, said Marlin, period." The comma in sentence 1 separates the narration, Dory said, from the spoken text, "I shall call him Squishy." We mark the end of the full sentence, number 1, with a period that falls inside the quotation marks. This marks the very end of the entire sentence, and because the sentence ends with the spoken part of the text, the period belongs inside the quote. The end comma in sentence 2 marks the end of the spoken part of the sentence. We do not need a period at the end of the spoken sentence because the full sentence really ends after said Marlin. The comma falls within the quotation marks because it refers to the end of the spoken part of the text. The period marks the end of the narration. Now that we've shown you the basic, let's give you a chance to practice. Here we have part of the worksheet that has been passed out to each of you. For individual practice, you should review this worksheet and make your best attempts at each practice sentence. When you are finished, check your answers against the answer sheet. Bring your work to our next class session, and we shall compare and discuss our results. This concludes our model mini lesson on how to properly punctuate dialogue in writing.
Wait, Mr. whoever you are. What are you talking about?
Dory, we just finished our lesson on punctuating dialogue.
Dialogue? What's dialogue?
Dialogue is a conversation between two or more people.
And we need punctuation to tell that?
We need punctuation to tell who is talking in written text.
Oh. How does that work again?
First, you identify which part of the sentence is the spoken part and put quotation marks around that section. Next, you add quotation marks around the... Next, you add your grammatical punctuation like commas and periods.
Well, duh. Everyone knows that.
They do now, Dory. They do now.
Yay!
Can you say thank you, Dory?
Sure I can. I can even say it in whale. Thank you.